Greetings from Thimphu, the capital city of Bhutan. Excellencies, dignitaries, participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor and pleasure to be given this opportunity for me to speak on this occasion, 2021 SDGs and International Happiness Symposium. Bhutan is increasingly known to the outside world as a Shangri-La of peace, a country that has achieved happiness. Visitors come to Bhutan to experience happiness. Yet, to be frank, Bhutan is not a country that has achieved happiness. Like many developing and poor countries in the world, Bhutan has challenges, aspirations, and limitations. What we differ from other countries, poor or rich, industrialized and developing, is that we are a country in serious pursuit of happiness. Sustainable Development Goals and happiness relation is such that SDGs resonates with the principle of GNH. However, it has a different approach while theorizing, addressed and measured. While the state members of United Nations has helped frame 17 SDGs goals aiming to eradicate the poverty, to provide equal opportunity for a decent life and promote conducive environment for businesses to flourish within the boundaries of the planet. Gross national happiness is a principle constituting of 9 domains gearing towards operationalizing the notion of good development with an ultimate value of promoting collective happiness. Nevertheless, both approaches of SDGs and GNH focuses on the well-being of the people. According to Constitution of the Kingdom of Bhutan, 2008, the state shall strive to promote those conditions that will enable the pursuit of gross national happiness. Ultimately, the policies or development planning introduced has to be in line with our goals to pursue GNH. Thus, it is ensured that any development activities should qualify the various indicators of gross national happiness. At the national level, there is a very high level of integration between the development philosophy of GNH and SDG. The implementation of SDGs in Bhutan forms an integral part of process and input to all development activities of the 25 years Thimphu Structure Plan. The Thimphu Structure Plan is relevant to most of the SDG goals. Urbanization is inevitable as cities progress towards prosperity and subsequently development is bound to happen. However, if left unguided, challenges related to urban poverty, inadequate public infrastructure and services, housing provisions, environmental deterioration, congestion, pollution, waste, crime, unemployment, among others, most of which we are already experiencing. The Thimphu Structure Plan was formulated to address these challenges, but given the rapid pace of development, it was unable to cope up with the development pace and deviations occur aims competing policies, plans and programs. In essence, GNH considers collective over individual benefits irrespective of where the beneficiaries reside, whether in urban or rural areas. Where target beneficiaries are wider and broader, solutions and interventions cannot be time-bound and therefore sustainability becomes critical. By putting the domains in the forefront during the framing of policies and setting strategies for our city, we could directly or indirectly achieve SDGs. Happiness framework is being used in the city to create a happy and safe city by bringing positive impact in the community. Community is the key word here, also logically translates into collectivity. In other words, when progress is collective in nature, it is inevitable to maintain the balance. Balance in terms of social, economic and environmental needs and sustainable to benefit the present and future generation. Collective happiness cannot be achieved by depriving one section of the population to benefit another. To thrive in city, we must view cities as urban systems in which each element interacts with each other. This leads to an inclusive approach. When inclusiveness becomes integral in our development approach, it already takes into account the narrowing of gaps leading to poverty eradication with equitable access to nutrition, education, employment, livelihood, healthcare, shelter, safe drinking water, sanitation, and other basic services. In accordance with the principles of gross national happiness, the conservation of natural environment and the concept of balanced and sustainable development have been the central themes in Bhutan's approach to development. Such an approach is advocated by key policy documents such as Bhutan 2020, a vision for peace, prosperity and happiness, and the National Environment Strategy of 1998. Further, the Constitution of Bhutan ensures the requirement of 60% forest cover for all times. Bhutan committed to remain a net carbon sink in perpetuity during the 15th Conference of Paris to the United Nations Framework on Climate Change in 2009 and has since reiterated its commitment in its national determined contribution to tackling climate change. Well recognized for its leadership in sustainable development and environment stewardship, its progress on climate action of the SDGs is particularly noteworthy. However, the fragile ecosystem that prevails across the Thimphu Valley is vulnerable to the risks of global warming. Rapid urbanization has resulted in climate change, causing rise in temperature and erratic rainfall, increasing the risks of a host of natural calamities such as fresh floods, disease outbreaks, landslides, pollution, etc. Bhutan has foreseen some of the issues and had already taken necessary actions and continuously working on addressing other existing and emerging issues. As a practical means of realizing these norms, we have planned our cities in a way where it has maintained and increased green cover by retaining certain percent of urban agricultural land, forest and parks. To further elaborate on how we thrive to achieve the goal of GNH and SDGs, we promote ecological diversity and resilience. Coinciding with the official crowning of 4th King on 2nd June every year, the day is widely celebrated and also considered as Social Forestry Day, where school children and residents plant trees and city sponsors the day by involving communities in the forestry activities. Focus on study and maintaining buffers along streams and rivers will reduce vulnerability to flash floods. Practically, for a city to be livable and enhance the living standard of all residents, it should be planned to accommodate the expected population growth, whereby affordable housing, safe drinking water, sewerage, health, and education is made accessible. The pressure on housing, water, sewerage, and traffic has grown abruptly due to more people migrating from high-risk area to Thimphu. Therefore, overcoming these pressures to make it affordable and sustainable is undeniably important for healthy and better quality of life. Public has easy access to healthcare system which is free of cost irrespective of which country you belong to. One can access free medical treatment while in the country. As some of you might be aware, in Bhutan, education is also provided free of cost. Hence, to elevate the standard of education and health services, Municipal Office continuously monitors and provides quality infrastructural facilities to accommodate increasing influx of people to the city. Realizing the issues and problems, the consultations with public and other stakeholders have been continuously underway to be able to cater to the need of increasing population. The urgent need to develop long-term master plan that lays out the provisions for a holistic and sustainable city was agreed and finalized. Also, the distribution and centralized infrastructures at respective neighborhood would keep the problems local and serve the purpose improving the living standard of all. Such an orientation is advocated and recommended by policy document Strategic Environmental Assessment of the Thimphu Structure Plan. One of the most important domains which are also enshrined in the Thimphu Structure Plan is to pursue the community vitality. The climate change poses issues among neighbors, causes disparities, conflicts and insecurity within the communities. Since every individual has the inalienable right to life, liberty and security of person, cities must strive to avoid human conflicts and natural disaster by involving all stakeholders in crime and conflict prevention and disaster preparedness. These issues are taken care by forming committees comprising of experts to interfere, negotiate, and act according to the prevailing rules and norms. This ensures and promotes cohesiveness within the neighbors to ensure community vitality. The preservation of historical and cultural heritage to uphold its uniqueness and richness maintains one's identity and oneness. The neighborhood note concept of having basic amenities within walkable distance in respective urban village and open public space across the city brings in more people together to gather, enjoy, mingle, and relax. This ensures psychological well-being of individuals, communities, and neighborhoods. Tomorrow, if an economist or leader or a planner or a mayor or anyone for that matter talks about society, sustainability, green or circular economy, politics, climate change, smart cities, green cities, post-pandemic recovery, urban regeneration, rural revitalization, etc., etc. Simply ask, where is the food coming from? There is no point in talking about economy, technology, politics, peace and culture on a hungry stomach. Without food, our goals are an empty but colorful whole. Food and nutrition deserve to be the soul of the SDGs as it happens in its themes. When we cultivate food, we cultivate and nourish relationships. We cannot with the tangible as well as intangible, nature, space, design, parents, siblings, neighbors, communities and countries. Including food as a vital social infrastructure will inspire and nourish individuals, connect families, communities, industries, startups, the young and the old, the citizen as well as the residents, the employed and the unemployed, the displaced as well as the voiceless, because everybody needs food to live our goals. Food helps us to live the UN Sustainable Development Goals. SDGs and Happiness Index is largely focused on conventional domains that accommodate physical needs of the people. What makes one independent and happy is through the inborn qualities of psychological well-being. This is instilled by the way one is brought up through rich culture and tradition. People are the principal wealth of cities or nations. They are both the object and the means of sustainable human development. Therefore, civic engagement through improved psychological well-being will actively contribute to the common good, where all the indicators of SDGs or happiness are bound to achieve. Our people are generally happy irrespective of whether you achieve physical well-being or not. This is mainly because our people possess great qualities such as sincerity, mindfulness, astute, resilience, and timeless effort as shared by His Majesty. These qualities are proven to be traits of achieving self-happiness and shield to any unfavorable conditions or situations. It is shown that happiness is our only strength that cannot be deterred by any external physical factors. This time during the COVID pandemic, Bhutanese have shown solidarity and unity in combating against the COVID, where we achieve happiness. This is proven by the record of no death case and achieving 100% vaccination in both rollouts within shortest time in the world. This strength of ours have become an envy to the world. All means to say that happiness emanated from the qualities of humanity keeps us happy despite of what level we achieve the SDG. Leading to achieve SDGs and GNH through overwhelming challenges is not an easy job. For example, fighting the COVID pandemic is not easy for us as other part of world may think. The harsh geographical conditions of Bhutan is challenging for development and accessibility. Geopolitical arrangement is in fact most vulnerable, being 100% open borders to two biggest countries in the world, China and India. China is first country to be detected with COVID-19 cases, and India is still having tough time to manage the spread of virus, and the small country of ours is surviving and standing unshakable thus far. So today we are happy again to confirm to the world, and this solely due to the effective strategic leadership of our Majesty, the King. Our King has been the unique and dynamic leaders always. Today, more than any time in our history and in the world, has proven the importance of leadership, whereby our King has sacrificed his happiness for the happiness of the nation and its people. Though we are hardest hit by the pandemic because of our remote location and current economic situation compared to most countries, we are blessed to have a leader who is compassionate and selfless. If I may cite an example, our King has been the one who keeps us hopeful and encourage us all times through his noble actions and visionary leadership. His Majesty visits every corner of the nation and keeps in constant touch with the policymakers, politicians, business and corporate entities, private entrepreneurs, and government servants to understand the core problems. In fact, His Majesty spends maximum time in high-risk zone away from comfort of his palace, encouraging frontliners to protect his people. This true leadership is keeping our attitude towards everything right and positive to achieve SDGs and happiness. The message I wish to convey is leadership is paramount importance to achieving the goals of SDGs and thereby the happiness of a society. May all countries, rich or poor, small or big, be blessed with selfless and compassionate leaders. In conclusion, it is the strategic leadership with selfless qualities that keep his people motivated and happy, supporting to grow food to feed his or her stomach and live UN Sustainable Development Goals. Last but not the least, in just 2 months after resuming office, getting to speak and share my thought on this subject with you all present here is extremely gratifying. I thank the organizer for inviting me to be part of this forum. Hope to see you all soon. Until then, stay safe and happy. Thank you and Tashidele.